Here you can see men at work here. Is the inside, the belly of the beast. The inside of Tarmot, a reproduction company started by Mariusz. I'm going to talk to him in a second. In 1992, what they're doing, they like the challenge, I think, because they're working on Russian cars. So you see the Buchanka, the UAZ Buchanka here, and they have the bodies of the UAZ 469, and there's this one is a 69. I guess this is the gas or UAZ 69, depending on the origins of the factory. This Lada is pretty nice. It's a NIVA.
Bronto.
Oh, it's a Bronto. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that this car even existed. So it's probably based on a NIVA, or maybe it's an evolution of it. But if you like that shape, which is pretty unique, of the Lada NIVA, you could actually try to buy this. Why drive a Jeep like everybody else? You can have a Bronto. And this one, there's a cream of the cream if we talk about the Russian military vehicles from the Cold War era. This is the gas. Oh no, this is an UAZ, but it's the same thing. This is 69, but this is a 69A. Because I showed you the 69, which was the personal carrier or military carrier for like 8 soldiers. And this one was used mainly by military officials and officers. See, it's totally different. It has 2 front seats and just 1 bench for generals or colonels. The other one had benches in a vertical position, so it could seat up to 6-8 people or carry 500 kilograms of arms or supplies. So now I'm going to talk to Mariusz. Mariusz is the owner of this whole thing.
Takiej sztabowej wersji, specyficznej na dach.
Right, it's a wooden roof. Can you believe it? Most of these had material, and this one is a wooden roof. This is also for the officers. So it's being built right now, or rebuilt. So it's better than original condition, probably, judging from what they're doing to the 69A. And the engine is different, right?
Fabryczny nowy silnik od UAZ-a.
Okay.
On jest montowany do gazika jako taki rodzaj tuningu. Powiedzmy, że zachowujemy pewien styl, mamy gaźnikowy silnik, ale jest górnozaworowy, trochę mocniejszy.
Okay.
Ma też pomysły tarczowe. Tam jest parę innych zmian. Taki z zewnątrz będzie wyglądał jak zwykły gaz, ale będzie miał parę modyfikacji.
So this is what they're doing here, actually, and this is a proper way. You don't stick a Mercedes-Benz 200 from or 220 engine from the W114 diesel car, which they used to do, or they would exchange it for the engine from Żuk or Warszawa. No, this is the proper way. They get the engine and the trainee from a new UAZ, and they stick it into the old car from the 1960s and 1970s. And isn't that great? This is the proper way. This is the proper tuning. Otherwise, it's just a car that's without the pedigree. So let's go back to Mariusz. He's going to explain to us many other things. This is the UAZ Buchanka, right?
Buchanka, ale to jest Buchanka, stary model, 4 filtra, przebudowany na ten współczesny.
Okay, so there's another upgrade. This is how they're doing.
Nowe nadwozie, nowy silnik, całe wyposażenie będzie nowe. Nie? Pojazd będzie technicznie nowy, formalnie stary. Tutaj podobna sytuacja, tylko że ma dołożone zwolniki taki typus niemiecki.
Oh wow. So you see, Mariusz knows all about it. So if you want to order a car like that, you know that these attachments, they all come together, and you can actually drive this car. You don't have to be worried that it's going to stop at some point and it's going to overheat. Właśnie, bo one miały też problemy z przegrzewaniem, prawda?
Niekoniecznie.
Okay, some people say they overheat. Mariusz says that they didn't. So that's his opinion, and he's the boss here.
Tutaj montujemy UAZ-a, takiej naszej wersji Hard. To jest taki tuningowany Hunter, ale będzie miał silnik od Toyoty V8.
Oh really? It's a Lexus.
Lexus.
Yeah, to have a Lexus engine. Okay, so that's not a tuning, but that's
Automatyczną skrzynią, mostami portalowymi.
okay. So the body would resemble a Russian car, but Japanese technology inside.
Dokładnie. Tutaj budujemy 469 kolejnego. Zaraz wam pokażę, jak wygląda na dalszym etapie, to znaczy na wodzie.
All right. So all right. Other guys are working. Oh my goodness, and they know what goes where. Love.
Remontujemy, składamy silnik. Nie? Kupujemy nowe, ale też remontujemy stare.
So this is 469.
To jest 469, nie? Silnik.
Tak.
Okay, this is the 469 was, and beautifully restored.
Tu już mamy taki na dalszym etapie. Już mamy w głowie, już składamy poszczególne elementy pojazdu.
Okay, so this UAZ really looks cool. Wow. It's plastic? No. All right, looks like a laminate, but it's not, of course. It's a brand new panel. And this is the NIVA, right? Okay, this is Lada NIVA.
W przeglądzie też jest przegląd.
Okay.
Tu jest nowy, to jest nowy handel.
Oh, okay.
Wersji Expedition.
See, it looks like a Landy, if you ask me. So,
Mamy klimatyzację.
see, air-conditioned car. And it's not. See, for those of you who long for a good old ride in a good old Land Rover, you know, you don't want to drive that plastic one, the Defender, you could actually opt for this one. It's a Russian made, but if you find somebody like Mariusz and his company, you can actually get it to some good specs. So it may even be better than the Defender, although it was made in the good old Russia. And I'm not a Putin supporter, you know. I love Russian people, Slavic people. So the car looks pretty good. If you want a rugged car, not a car that would take you from point A to point B, within the city, you want to go somewhere else, you want to go to a desert perhaps, you'll get this one. Why not? It's spacious, seats 5, pretty good car, if you ask me. But it has to be prepared by somebody like Mariusz. Otherwise, you have to work your knowledge and put it into the pretty rugged and Spartan Russian technology, because they, the cars when you buy them and when you explore them, they're not that great after some time. So you see the great engine bay of the UAZ 469. Everything is in a beautiful condition. Come to think of it, maybe somebody would like to own one like that. I would, definitely. All right. So we're leaving this garage.
Lakiernia to chyba nie jest jakiś ciekawy.
No, it's okay, but that's
Namiot, w hali
all right.
różne auta stojące. No tam jest nowy Hunter. kłas profi, ale to już nie jest klasa, nie?
Mhm.
Tamte powiedzmy daje klasyka.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Mamy Urala, ciężarówkę.
No swoje prawo jazdy tak nie.
All right, that's
Możemy zobaczyć.
that may be interesting too.
No co?
All right, let's go into the tents. Oh my goodness! Look at that.
W trakcie różnych działań. Mamy
Supplies, parts, bodies.
Patriot. Nowa generacja UAZ-ów.
Oh, that's another UAZ. Can you believe it? It's called a Patriot, like the Jeep, which didn't look good. But this one looks like a Land Cruiser to me, a small one, or a Mitsubishi Pajero. It looks pretty good. Wow. How much is it? A new one here in Poland?
From 90,000 zł.
90,000 zlotys. That's probably $25,000 brand new. Here in Poland, you have to realize that there are custom taxes because they're being brought from outside the EU. So imagine how cheap that car is in Russia. Well, it's pretty nice. You know, with the prices of 4x4s going up, this could be a good answer. I mean, you have a decent car. I'm not into new cars, but as a novelty, I decided to show it to you. And let's see the front. Okay, that's a Kia or something, but people like it. That's some shape that the people like, and I like the logo. It's a big bird or like glider, or perhaps an Adler. But well, that's pretty cool. All right, let's see other cars in this tent. So you see, all right, we have the new bodies here. UAZs. UAZ 469s. So if you need a replacement, you know who to call. And this is a Suzuki Samurai, the SJ. Well, this is probably just for experiments. And another Buchanka, another UAZ, but this one is special. What's that? What's that on top of it?
Tu się wysuwała antena. Do końca nie pamiętam.
Okay, there was an antenna there. But that's an ambulance? No.
Nie.
It has a third light. See, some ambulances like the VDUPs, bay windows, and these splitties, they had the cross there, but that's another window. Okay, so it was a personal carrier as well, but you can actually, with this wood, you did it, right?
No,
Okay.
not yet. It's
Okay.
in progress.
Okay, so the work is in progress, but this probably could make a good camping van, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to be so odd, and if you're a nomad, you know, in the US, you can even bring this car over, and nobody will have a car like you. You'll be totally, totally on your own with a Russian Buchanka, but you have to change the engine, and you have to go through the process of you know, modernizing the thing. That's another Samurai, or the LJ? That's a Samurai.
Tak, to jest też auto w trakcie.
Yeah, okay, so, all right. Well, that's a poor fella here,
To
but...
ogólnie auta w trakcie różnych działań.
Mhm.
Okay, teraz.
Buchanka and another gas, right? The 69.
O, i Volvo.
Laplander.
Nie tylko rosyjskie.
That's a Laplander. That's a Volvo Laplander,
No,
right?
Nie,
No?
Laplander. Nie
Okay,
jest
it's not a Laplander.
Ma znaczenie.
Okay.
Nie wiem jakie, ale to nie jest Laplander.
It is similar to it?
No, można powiedzieć. Jest mniejszy.
It's smaller, but look at the... Also under construction. Look at that. Could you imagine? I mean, the beauty of it is I followed the lead. I knew that that the car that I saw at the intersection about 2 hours ago was displayed until yesterday in this historical museum. And I spoke to Tom. I met him, and he took me to a place where Mariusz has his company, which is famous for rebuilding and making Russian cars look better and drive better. Well, this one's pretty original, I think, or maybe it has to have. It may need some remodeling to do, but this one is, as you can see from the inside, this is the 69, not the 69A, which we witnessed in the den. I'll show you two more cars because it would be a pity if I didn't. Another Buchanka and the UAZ 469. I love these cars, actually. To be honest, for me, you watch Bond movies. When was the last time you saw this car in the movie? It was probably the GoldenEye with the opening scenes. So that's that. But the Russians had pretty rugged and robust technology to offer. And now there are so many enthusiasts who are buying these cars. Actually, I'm going to ask Mariusz the big question. Who's buying these cars?
Everyone.
Who are your clients?
Well,
Russians? No.
No, Russians no. Well, they have their own companies. Yes.
All right.
Well, basically two types of people. One, they want classic cars, some kind of classic off-road military vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, yes, UAZ,
Right.
Ural, some kind of trucks. And second one, they want something special. Yes, not
ordinary.
Jeep,
Right.
Land Rover or something like this, and maybe not so expensive. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because you can bullet new car for
Twice the price of
yes,
right
Yes, and
of a normal
the car
plastic
can have,
one.
You know, lots of stuff like portal axles, like bigger engines.
Mm-hmm.
So it can look like you know
An old car,
old
but
car,
everything inside is
yes,
brand
but
new.
You can have modern engine from Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
new engine, or completely different from Toyota or something.
How much would a UAZ 469 rebuilt by you with a new engine cost?
Bullet new. Yes, we don't say rebullet, we just dismount everything and mount new body, new engine, for everything. It's about 50,000 zloty.
Well, that's, you see,
With taxes.
that's
yes.
nothing. That's $12,000 for a brand new, roadworthy, totally remodeled, because it's not a rebuilt. It's a rebuilt car. There's no renovation there. Because Mariusz that's not his idea. He wants to give you a product that's going to be totally new, and it's going to look old, but on the inside, it's going to drive and bring you comfort as a new product from Ulyanovsk, right? So,
Like this. We also make
50,000 zlotys. Oh,
projects like this will be 6x6 version of Buchanka. We made one
okay.
from 2 years ago, and this is second.
All right.
Yes.
So another axle.
Yes, another axle and 6x6.
All right.
Really 6x6. Yes. So all.
Okay.
wheels.
Oh my God. So if you like the shape of the Buchanka, which is totally odd, and if you like it, and if your kids are watching Masha,
Yes,
Masha and the Bear, you're gonna love it. But if you want to have a car that sits in your garden and is just getting rusted and it rusts away, you can buy a car from Russia. But if you have something that would give you enjoyment of driving it, then you come to Mariusz, and for like 50,000-60,000 zlotys, he'll give you a brand new car. All right. Well, the funny thing is, when you just, you know, when you take a look around, you can see other junk, sort of junk. That's a tarpan. You saw 2 tarpans. This is for parts, probably, a donor. But in the back of it, you have the UAZs. And these are the UAZ Buchankas. Buchanka meaning bread loaves. This is what the Russians used to call them. They had ambulances like that, you know, tiny military carriers. And these are also donors, I guess. And there's a great looking big tarpan hunker used for the different kinds of service in Poland. This one belonged to the firefighters, but a donor car because it's all rusted out. But this one, this was an evolution of tarpan. They called it the hunker. And another Buchanka. See? That's the front of it. And UAZs. UAZs 469. I mean, this is a great sort of junkyard. So, comrades, how did you like this movie I prepared for you? Oh, you liked it. I also liked it very much. I liked what Mariusz and his team of devoted professionals, very strong men from Poland, are doing to those very simple and junky Russian cars. They're all junk, but they can turn this junk into sophisticated, reliable machines that you can drive every day, just like the Americans are doing with their Humvees. So, it is not easy to become a car wizard, especially on the internet. There are many imposters, but Mariusz and his team are true wizards. If you want to see more, please stay tuned for future episodes. In the next one, I will be riding along one of Mariusz's best drivers in a very large truck, Russian truck, proudly made in the USSR. So please stay healthy until then, and do svidania.